Why does Zillow Zestimate not work in Pittsboro, North Carolina?
I mean, sometimes they work, sometimes they're right. But one of the main things that people need to know about Pittsboro is Pittsboro has very few subdivisions, and so a lot of the houses are outside of your standard subdivision. If we go outside the town limits and just go in the 27312 area code, a lot of those houses aren't even in subdivisions. And Zillow is most effective when we go to Cary and there is a 300 home subdivision, and there's basically 4 or 5 house plans that have ever been sold in that subdivision. And then there's 10 of these houses that are selling per month. Like, you might have 2 or 3 of the exact same floor plan, the exact same age home that sold in the last month. It's not hard for Zestimate to slap a price on that. I mean, 3 of them sold, you can find a quick average, and that's probably a fairly accurate Zestimate. But when you throw everything into the meat grinder, like in Moncure, we have situations where there is actually a $675,000 home on 20 acres that's next door to a 30-year-old double wide on an acre and a half, for probably 80 to 100,000. Both of those are going in the Zillow meat grinder, and so that's going to say that the double wide's worth 300 grand, and that's going to say the 675 is worth 300 grand, and that's just not accurate. And so you really want to compare apples to apples. And so when you go out into the rural areas or just in Pittsboro in general, and you go outside of the subdivisions, it's very, very difficult. And even when you have subdivisions, I mean, and like just in Pittsboro right now, we have Potterstone, Willow Springs, Chatham Forest, and Powell Place. I mean, those are like 4 subdivisions in the Pittsboro city limits. Anybody knows anything about Pittsboro, those are 4 very different subdivisions. And so when you do that as estimate, it's throwing all 4 of those into the mix, and I don't think it's an accurate number at all. It's not a bad baseline guideline, but I think if someone's interested in selling their house, they should certainly consult with a real estate professional so they can compare those apples to apples.